down there. I'm still new, but soon I will be very old. So, and that is the cash box, register. The box. Nobody yet there, who knows? Who knows, maybe nobody comes.
Who is disturbing me? Who are you? Huh? KGB, CIA, FBI? Never mind. Come in. I'm harmless. I am the man who created this. Want to say hello to me? I have to make nose to look older, no? Christina said to me, Lalu, the older you become, the more I like you. This is a secret. Huh? Old people are sexy, especially me. Proven scientifically. I didn't yet have the chance to practice it. Never mind. After the play, I say I don't need you anymore and so forth, and then I say, and wow. Even if you break it, that's okay. What? I'm sabotaged here. Nobody is here to do my presentation. Because I'm an old fart, but we will change that. Fart everybody to death, that may be a good solution. So, what? Did you pay ticket? If not?
Hello. They're going to insist that I move my car because they have valet parking. It's a very classy neighborhood. Excuse me. Listen to this. When I'm on the street, have you ever heard a sound like that? Welcome to the Complex Theater. I'm Sam Longoria, and I own the Wildcat Theater up in North Hollywood. This is getting close to our 100th production of this particular presentation. The premise of which is rather startling, the idea that the disease AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, is actually man-made, intentionally injected into gays and blacks by agents of our government and other health organizations. And there's only one person really who would know the entire story, and that is Dr. W.H.O, who we have with us this evening. And I hope you welcome him now. This is Dr. W.H.O, the man who created AIDS.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, gentlemen, thank you. It is a tragic. I tell you something, we do this 6 weeks or 60 weeks, 60 weeks. Thank God. Put the head away, I will be soon like that, I don't have to look at it. It will happen sooner than I think. You know, I tell you something here. We do this in 60 weeks. And we had sometimes 20 people, 10 or a book studies. We had also 1,500 in the Pasadena City College in this. But I am always a little bit shocked that the people don't want to hear the truth. They want to be entertained. But as I used to say, ladies and gentlemen, the party is over. I am thankful for everybody who is listening now and who's watching now also on the screen. Because I'll tell you something. This is what I am saying. If I would be alone telling what I'm telling now, and the only one, you think I would waste your time sitting here? You think I go rather to the beach and live the couple of years that I have left, you know what I mean? Because I had suffering enough in the life. And I spent 10 years in Siberia in the labor camp and so forth. I don't want to bore you with that, but I'll tell you something. After Siberia, you have no more problems. Everything is beautiful for you. I will talk in front of nobody. It's better than to be in Siberia. But the problem is that, I forgot what I wanted to say. Anyway, I would like that people appreciate a bit more what I am doing. And yes, we have all these people that help me to spread the message and so forth. Because you see, we are since over 80 years in a human experience. This is what I call it. The guinea pigs are the citizens of the United States of America. Here I have this book. I prove 350 attacks on the citizens of the United States of America. Without their consent, of course. I would have to name Tuskegee, Alabama, where they killed the blacks, but they did not give them penicillin because they had syphilis and so forth, just because they think the brain of the black man is small and the penis is huge and the foreskin is huge, and because of the small brain that they say has the black man. This is in the CDC papers, the official definition of black people: small brain, big penis, and an urge to have sex 24 hours a day, so they are prone to syphilis. And we want to see how does the syphilis bacteria works in these people, and the best to do is this, to don't give them penicillin. And that was the experiment that went from 1940-something until Malcolm X made a stop of it, you know. And this is only one example. I would have 20 hours to prove to you what they do. I work in the government laboratories, in the biowarfare laboratory, but I did not know what was going on. I thought I worked for defensive research. You see, Nixon called it defensive research in 1970. He did not say the name bacteriology warfare was not allowed. Defensive research. And I thought I served, not in my country, I come from Russia. I thought I served the United States of America for having allowed me to come here and to do my hepatitis B vaccine trial. So I worked for them. Yes, I can confess that here, please. I mean, you see, everything ends in the hospital. Here I am, New York City Memorial Hospital. Yeah, that is where the story ends, I know. And many of my friends have already died here. And for reasons that I was responsible for. So maybe it is a penalty or a punishment that I enter to. But never mind, I have good friends, people taking care of me, Jerome, I have friends, I have suffered enough. But before I go, I have a responsibility to say what happened. And what happened is very simple. They don't talk. This is what I claim here, and what 10 other well-renowned doctors now agree with me, amongst other African doctors, and Professor Feather from New York City, Campbell Douglas Jr., Campbell Jr., Seeloff, I could go on and on. But you see, the problem is that virology is something complicated, but we can break it down in simple terms. The simple terms are this, and the 10-year-old can understand this. And please, you who are here tonight, you will know more about AIDS and HIV than 99% of the people and of the doctor. Do we have MD here? MD? No? MD? No MD? Where are they when you need them? Yeah?
They're off their golf courses.
In the golf course, yeah. But they will have to watch out because the bad news is that anybody will get HIV positive. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not the only one who says it. Campbell Douglas Jr., that is Doctor of the Year 1987 from the National Health Federation, said this thing is doubling. The CDC says this thing is doubling. Now, please, let's take a look. Count with me. We have 2 million HIV positive people right now in America. I say 5. But let's say 2. Let's take the official number of the CDC. So, count it with me so it has more dramatic effect. 2 million now. Next year is 4 million. 8 million.
16, 32, 64, 128,
256.
520.
I wish we would count so enthusiastic about money that we make, but this is about the double effect of the HIV virus. So that is according to the numbers of the CDC. I say, yeah, it's possible, it's not possible, but the problem is not, you see, and if tomorrow there would be no more AIDS, if tomorrow they would have found a cure for AIDS and cancer and everybody is happy, still the question would remain, and I say like other scientists and physicians, it is a man-made disease. What I claim here is this. AIDS is a man-made disease, as some already said, injected in gays and blacks, and soon everybody will have it. Now, I can only present the facts. You make up your own picture. I have people that call me on the phone, I have people that attack me, other people have sympathy with me. I injected from 1978, you see, 1978, it's okay, okay. 78 to 1979, 1,083 homosexuals. Look, these are the facts. I apologize for my appearance, but when you are old, you don't care so much anymore for... I'm an old fart. I don't fight anymore. But what I have to say is not an old fart. What I have to say is what? It's common sense that you will see now. See, these are the numbers. 1,083 homosexuals. So, today they are all dead. Right? They died of AIDS. And those who did not die of AIDS are HIV positive. This is a fact. That you can call tomorrow the blood center, Claire Stevens from the New York City blood center, you can call and ask her what happened to the 1,083 men with the hepatitis B vaccine trial. She was my assistant, Dr. Cat Stevens. Call her tomorrow morning at the New York Center. Around 83. So, parallel, I did smallpox vaccination, approximately from 1975 to 1978. Now, this was against smallpox, and today, millions of Africans, ladies and gentlemen, have HIV/AIDS. So the question remains, how is that possible? I myself did not know the answer until I got the facts together, until I was able to step back a little bit and see the whole picture, because my main interest and occupation was to find a cure against hepatitis B. Now they write in the papers that I wanted to find the cure because I hate the gays and the blacks and all this, and that I want to destroy them. This is all things that are put down from those people who don't want you to know the truth. You will decide tonight yourself. Did I really create AIDS in the sense that I did it consciously? Or was I just a dupe put up somewhere so that they could have their human cancer experiment? And I'll tell you something here. This is the book. Who knows Dr. Gallo? Dr. Gallo? You know him? You know him, Dr. Gallo. So, Robert Gallo. Now, we call him sometimes Wine Gallo because he has sometimes a glass too much. Now, but I don't want to go into this because I like vodka, he likes wine. Okay, I don't say anything. But I say something else. This is his book. Look, it is called Virus Hunting. So, and the answer to AIDS is in this book. Because every page in the book, ladies and gentlemen, is an outcry. Cancer is caused by a virus and it is contagious, but how can we prove it? 50% of the scientific society, and medical people and so forth, think that cancer is caused by a virus and that it is contagious. So, but they did not have an approach to this. They did cutting, radiation, everything. Today we have 500,000 people dying every year of cancer. Now, this is every minute one person. Did they find a cure? Maybe I missed something, maybe you know something, but I don't think they find a cure. In the contrary, I present in this book facts that you will see that since they are looking for cancer, there is more cancer. The other accusation I make together with other professors is that the doctors make you sick intentionally. You have to get by and smoke. I know nobody likes to hear this, everybody trusts a doctor, but when you are healthy, you are no business to a doctor. You are only business to a doctor when you're sick. I say with others that they make you sick from the beginning. When medicine was in this country practicing, they make you more sick. The statistic that I got from the CDC, and you can get the same, is that today there's a higher percentage of people sick than there was 80 years ago. So, percentage. How is that possible? Everything has to do with everything. Yeah. And because they believe that cancer is caused by a virus, they need cancer virus. So, because what they do is they inject cancer virus in human tissue culture or in animals, and then they see, is it contagious? You see, this is a procedure on Myron Max Essex. He took kitten, he had 50% kitten with the cancer, feline leukemia. Then he put them together with other 50% of kitten, 50 kitten or so, in a house. And after a while, the kitten with no cancer had cancer. That would be the proof that cancer is caused by a virus. Everybody clap on the shoulder on Myron Max Essex, get the Lasker Award. Yeah? Oh, great. But the young student of 18 years come and say to me, Dr. Essex, but animal is not human. And that was Dr. Cole, Philip Cole, and he went to the board and said, here, we get the names, one after the other, we get them to you. This thing is not over, believe me. This is not over. They say, oh, who cares where it's come from? I speak with Professor Bonham from the UCLA. She said, who cares? Look, maybe you ask the same people for the cure who created the virus. So maybe we should take a little look at this data. Dr. Cole said, we lack the human cancer experiment. And he was walking up and down and talking and saying, we cannot do it, but theoretically, and he was theoretically talking 1973 already in Asylumar. in anti-American company, and he said if we would have humans that are first healthy, this is on congressional record, that are first healthy, then they become infected with the virus under whatever condition. Then they infect others through a close physical contact. What is the closest physical contact? You know.
Prison.
Yes, or between two human beings.
Sex.
And then we see of the other person that did not have cancer, does she have cancer? And then we continue until Exodus. Theoretically, he said. He called it retrospective, prospective trial. And when I had my hepatitis B vaccine trial, I couldn't get Dr. Cole from my back. I weighed double. He called me 10 times a day. Hey, Dr. Schmulis, could you give me some data from this? You don't have human cancer experiment, you have hepatitis B. But your gay men are first healthy, then they get the vaccine, then they have sex because you chose the promiscuous ones, that is what I did, 1,000 times 6 per year. Can you imagine that even in theory? It's possible. And then he said they have sex together and you will constantly take their blood. Theoretically, was another word of him, we could use the data and do as if it is a human cancer experiment. So, and me, the naive, nutty little dwarf that I am, happy to be in America, thinking that they asked for my authority, for my expertise. Now today I know, yeah, they had 50 other experts, you know, and coryphees who knew about it, but I couldn't even speak English. And they chose me as chief hepatitis B vaccine trial in New York City, and even they had me for the smallpox vaccination. I mean, millions of Africans. I had to do always a translator with me because I didn't know how to talk anything, you know. And they say, Dr. Schmulis, we know that you are expert in animal virus and human tissue culture. Why don't you provide our laboratories with animal virus for their experiments? Please, and I want to come in. Yes. Yes. Okay. And he said to me, can you provide our cancer laboratories with cancer viruses? Now, ladies and gentlemen, attention. Many professors in Harvard, Yale, Carnegie University do this. This is a daily procedure. They don't tell you that. Since 1970, the National Cancer Institute was together with the CIA. This was ordered by Nixon, and it was in all the papers. No conspiracy, nothing. It was all open, no problem. But you see, they had access to our books. They had access to our results. So, I was specialist, please, and I am still, I say that without pride because today I see what the thing has done. I am specialist for animal cancer virus and human tissue culture and outcomes of human virus. This experiment is done by Van der Marten, this is done by other professor, 19 Icelandic professor, he's an old Jew, but I did a special image. I'll show you some. Here, this is what I did. I did this, then I did this, and this, and this. So now you know what I did. But the answer to the question about what exercise is here, ladies and gentlemen, I had many people in a big hall in Pasadena. They were just, some doctors, I said to the doctors, there were some black doctors and white doctors, you come up here. You prove me that this is wrong, that this is not possible, and I throw my stuff away, go to the beach, advertise, and I better don't continue with it. Not one of them came up. It was a Spanish doctor who talks on blah, blah, blah. I say, you, sir, make first your homework before you answer me. I was expert in splicing the virus of a diseased cow. This is a bovine leukemia virus in morphology. You see that? Here. So, this is a virus of a sick sheep. This one. That causes leukemia in cow. That causes brain rot in sheep. Hey. Now I put together this in the human tissue culture, leukemic tissue culture. from a woman that had cervical cancer. In 1951 was a black lady, famous black lady, Henrietta Lacks. From then on it was possible to have experience in human tissue culture. They cut out the cervix with the cancer and everything and put it, I remember the report, we put it in a pot and put some growth hormone and left and forgot the whole thing. After 2 weeks they came back and guess what had happened? The whole room was full of cancer. Multiplied. Like in a horror movie, multiplied. The blob. Yeah, but this was good because from then on all the cancer virus laboratories have experimented in human tissue culture. But cow and sheep only multiply in cancer leukemic tissue culture. Out came this here, look. This is sugar. Outside, knobs, glycoprotein. This is inside 2 RNA strands. Heavy burden now, impossible. But only theoretically possible. In truth, you will see what I'm saying. RNA, and 2 dots here, they are called reverse transcriptase. These are 2 enzymes. So, 160,000 amino units molecular weight. So, that structure. And also came out here the same cow and the same sheep. But guess what? When you put this virus into a cow, it doesn't cause disease anymore. When you put this virus into a sheep, it's the same, you see, it's the same. It doesn't cause brain rot anymore. Who knows why?
Because it's for humans.
It has become human. Animal tissue culture goes to school in human tissue culture, has sex in human tissue culture, multiplies, so forth. And out comes a virus that is only pathogenic in humans and not anymore in animals. That is a great secret. Digest this correctly. I know it is boring a little bit sometimes to learn some biology, but this is what these people up there and the doctor think. This is why they think, oh, biology is too complicated. Nobody wants to do it. And while you don't even, so to speak, understand the basics, they do with you what you want to do. But I tell you something, the party is over. I say that always. You have to educate yourself. That is what you have to do. Otherwise, it will be too. Is it almost too late already? No matter, I don't care. If only one person has of 50, I know what I'm saying, and nobody has until now proved me different. Here, this is what I provided the cancer virus laboratories for. And parallel, I vaccinate homosexuals against hepatitis B. Spend the rest of the evening to tell you what a problem it was to get the gay man to come to our. I mean, we had to use all the tricks. Somebody came even with the idea that we should put a Dracula poster on the bloodmobile to get more people. It was almost like tonight, nobody wanted to come. So we had to think all kinds of stuff. And one of my assistants said, why don't we put the Dracula poster and everybody artificial teeth in his mouth? This is on congressional record. I'm not making something up. Everything you hear, ladies and gentlemen, important now, including this, is on congressional record. If you want to see that, we will have question answer sections. Please keep the question in the mind. It's important. Now, I said, hey, listen, I don't put artificial teeth in my mouth. I'm a professor. I don't have to do this. Yeah. Now, after 3 days, we still had no gay men. I mean, they were hiding. Nobody wanted to. They lived 2 lives. One in New York in the city, and the other on the weekend in Greenwich Village. So there were judges, there were lawyers, there were everything. Nobody wanted to be on anybody's list. So, I mean, I don't believe it, but suddenly I find me with 3 other doctors standing there, put the teeth in and said, give us your blood, give us your blood, give us your blood. This was the situation. And with the teeth, 50% more. Without the teeth left. So I ordered, and this is also all registered. I ordered for every doctor of my staff Give her your blood. I was standing there. And they came and gave her the blood. As she seen the teeth, that's how they look. See? World-renowned professor standing there with teeth in Greenwich Village. They had the gay man and said, "Would you please come in, give me your blood?" They loved it. Wait. Then we had millions of dollars of grants. Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Nixon was behind this from the beginning. He featured it from 1971. Later, George Bush from 76, because you see, Bush was head of CIA. And they were very interested in my results. And so I vaccinated the gay man, and it was, I finally, the thing, began to roll. And parallel, I vaccinated against smallpox in Africa. It was to me like winning in the lottery. I did not believe. I come from Russia with $15 in my pocket, February '69. My wife, my daughter, nowhere to go, nothing to eat. I roam the streets in a trash container. I was not even professor. I was talking. Go on the street, get the stuff out there, and 2 years later, Richard Nixon gave me the hand and says, "I envy you, Dr. Schmidt." He didn't say that. I would say like this. No, he said, "I will envy you. I will envy you, Dr. Right on. I'm so fascinated. He was, I tell you something, the people can say about him what they want, but I felt a great warmth coming. Whenever he welcomed me, normal people just walk, but he, so to speak, he moved in waves. I have only the best recollection of Richard Nixon, no matter this. Everybody was on my side. Everybody was promoting me, helping me. I did not know nothing. I said, "Maya, something is wrong," to my wife. "Something is wrong. Everything works too fast. Here we have millions. I have an apartment that was double big like this." Now remember, I come from Russia, from a cell that is that size. Here, and no pot, you have a hole here. That's it. And suddenly I have a sailboat, I have designer clothes, I have a car, I have even a house. $8 million grant. You know what that is in 1978 and before? So you see, my wife said, "Wolf, you were first. God, so to speak, punish you for whatever reason. We don't want to question him. And now he, so to speak, gives you a reward for your suffering. And so don't ask." And I said, "But Maya, I have a bad feeling in my guts." She said, "It's only gas." Always when I said my guts, she said, "It's gas." Because I have gas lungs. Sometimes I have problems, But I am wide awake. Tonight I am also wide awake. I see everything completely, totally clear. And everything is you could have put something around my face. I did see nothing, I did hear nothing, but somewhere in the back of my head, I said, "This is going too fast, it's going too good, it's going too..." People, after in January 1979, a young man came to me with Kaposi sarcoma. Care. Also on congressional record. He said, "Professor, can you help me?" I look at him, I said, "What is it you have? You have blotches, purple blotches, so forth." I said, "You have Kaposi." I did not connect anything with my hepatitis B vaccination and Kaposi sarcoma. I expected rather people coming with hepatitis B. Because the vaccine is made from the virus. Did you know that? Almost all vaccines are made from the virus. Not always, but almost. In this case, hepatitis B was made from the blood of gay men. We take their blood, put it in the centrifuge, get the plasma, put the blood back, and you have your virus. After 1 year inactivation process, you have vaccine. So 1 year and more. This is the procedure. So we had cases of hepatitis B.
Why? Because sometimes the vaccine is contaminated and the virus is not inactivated and is alive. It happens. Now, this is a special lecture I prove in this book, ladies and gentlemen, and when I said the last time, I spoke only in front of black people in Crossroad Hall. That I am there, by the way, as Saturday also. I said, and I repeat the same here, I say that vaccination and immunization is scientific fraud and causes the disease that they vaccinate or immunize you against. And if I would stay alone with this opinion, I would not dare to sit here in front of you, but I present to you in the book 10, 12 world-renowned doctors that say we predict a flood of lawsuits against the vaccination companies. Scrip, Abbott, Lipton, Merck and Company, and the Scrip and whatever is all crap. Because I tell you why. Professor Crichton in the Encyclopedia Britannica says it is a sick idea to put a diseased part of another being in a previously healthy human being. It is a sick idea because that thing, yes, it causes antibody, I agree, I know, but these antibody are directed automatically only against this specific stuff, and furthermore, this thing is now in you. It is in a pre-crystalline structure. It crystallizes, it breaks the brain-blood barrier, and sooner or later, that is why they stopped the polio vaccinations, by the way. Sooner or later, you will have brain problems, neurological disease in children, as it was in 1951, something, but they stopped it. And I say, they begin it now again, everybody should be vaccinated, they say, and so forth, but you will see. Vaccination is the greatest cause of disease in human beings. And I feel sometimes like a little mouse talking to a mountain. I tell you something right now, you will remember, because people remember me for 3 years ago, I say on TV that you will get HIV without having sex. Without having needles, without having put the tongue in the mouth and so, nothing. And did I prove it? Did I show on TV? We had the last presentation from the what is the name of the showmaster? With the white hair, famous showmaster on TV. Donald. There was a mother with a child, and the child had aged 13 years. She did not know from birth. They thought the parents had sexually abused her, put the finger in or something, and then infected her. They humiliated the parents. They had them tested for HIV. They destroyed this whole thing, and no HIV positive, and no child abuse. As more as today's child abuse. As more as today's popular child abuse. Everything is child abuse. No, the girl was completely. She just got HIV. She says she's one of 500. I say she's one of 2,000. The virus is alive, and I give to you an example tonight that you will remember. From the Legionnaires' disease in Philadelphia in the hotel. There was a room like here, the young Legionnaires were sitting, and they put on the air conditioner. And in the tunnel of the air conditioner was the virus blowing, and it came out. And everybody got Legionnaires' disease, right? You remember? My virus, I should be careful about it. This thing is everywhere. You cannot destroy it anymore. But let us go piece by piece. I just tell you something. The first cases of AIDS or of Kaposi sarcoma were in my trial, but I did not suspect anything. I just continued doing my stuff. I just was so enthusiastic, and when there were warning signs, I had the vodka. And it went away. You know what I mean? I just sort of I watched it away. I said it cannot be that. And by the way, here, I want to tell you something, right? Because some people today, Alan Campbell Jr., he was on TV, and he said that I might have something to do because I was a KGB CIA double agent. Other doctor too, Robert B. Strecker, Campbell Douglas, they say I was a double agent. So to speak, virological James Bond. You know what I mean? Like working for both sides is absolutely nonsense. I was kicked out in Poland because I'm Jewish. And I did not want to protest against the Egypt when they had the war with Israel. So, they kicked out me and my wife. This is the only reason. And not that we were infiltrated in New York City, Kennedy Airport, Charlie, Diego, Geneva, and all this is stuff for a science fiction book, but not for the truth, that they, so to speak, put us in as double agents. That is absolute nonsense. My whole family died in the gas chamber. You think I wouldn't make other people suffer? I've suffered enough. I know that God punish you when you make people suffer. I just say one thing. Look, there were 500 people here and about 500 people there. Homosexuals. 50% of the 1,083 I give the vaccine, and the 50% I give a placebo. I did not know who had the vaccine. I did not know who had the placebo. Only 2 people knew. I don't want to put the guilt from myself, but I tell you, these 2 people are experts in hepatitis B. Their name is Krugman and Mekong. So, they were what we call in medical technology the control officers. Whenever somebody came with anything that includes the man who had Kaposi sarcoma, I called them. I said, does he belong to the vaccine group or to the placebo? And the answer was always placebo. Good. You think if they would have said vaccine, I would have continued the trial? If they would have said that my man with Kaposi sarcoma, that was in January 1979, that he has, that he belongs to the vaccine group, I would not have continued the trial. I would have stopped it. I continued the trial. What is that? KGB? CIA? Huh? Torturing somebody? Madhouse, yeah. Entertainment, that's what they look for. But just wait and see. They wanted to be entertained so that they can make their game with you. Short story, they always said placebo. More and more men came in my hepatitis B vaccine trial that had these symptoms. And please, whenever somebody came with these symptoms, I said, I called Krugman and Mencolin, and the answer was always placebo. To think something else is outrageous and an insult, and this is an insult against the Jewish race and against my family. Put me at a mass murder. Who saw the band played on HBO? Did you see the movie? And the band played on? You saw. Did you hear my name? Schmooners? No. You heard Francis. You heard Essex. You heard Gallo. These were my students. The band played on is 1980. Look, that is when that all began. My trial was 1978 to 79. Yeah. These people, my hepatitis B vaccine trial was the first. Then came Francis. And remember the gay man, what he said? Get on the gas, né? The airline steward that come from Paris and infects North America. How can one man infect North America? But even if, he said, don't forget, I also had it from somebody. Of course he had it from somebody. Because from the people in my trial and their things. Because I tell you now, another proof. And there are 1,000 other proofs in the book. Pre-1978 blood from the gay man in my trial was negative. Post-1978 blood from the man in my trial was positive. How's the blood center tomorrow? Makes the effort. Oh yeah, I have black people attacking me, I have white people attacking me, I have Jews attacking me. They're sitting there, they're saying, how could you do this and this and that? I did nothing. I just am a compassionate human being who wants to help people. If that is abused, then I cannot help it. But what I can do is to present the facts to somebody else, my judgment. You will judge tonight. You will see the facts. This sounds like a Russian KGB, They are very intense when they torture. They put the needles, what you saw the marathon man? Oh, they did that with me. Schmunes, will you spy against your own colleagues? I did not spy. You see, I stayed strong. This is what you get as a reward. They destroy your life. They call you a spy, and I was known for this. That I did not fight against my colleagues. They wanted to know what does this doctor do, what does this doctor do. And when I did not do what they wanted to do, they kicked me in the butt. I am not bitter. I am sometimes a little upset, but I don't want to cipher too much. You see, so I continued with the hepatitis B vaccine trial because the control officers told me it is placebo. So there was only one moment, ladies and gentlemen, when I wanted to stop the trial, indeed, and that was 1 month before the end. That was in September 1979. October we stopped the trial, because October the trial was finished. In 79, in September, Jimmy the waiter breaks down, homosexual waiter, fulminant hepatitis. I was in Geneva with Krugman. McCollum was in New York, played tennis, we didn't get him. And I said, I stopped the trial. That is it. I knew it all. And even Krugman, whom I adored, whom I worshipped, is the right word. But you see, when I was in prison in Siberia, I read already Krugman and McCollum. You must understand the connection that I had to these people. They were my gods. They were my heroes. My heroes, that's the right word. And never would I thought, this kept me alive when they electrocuted me, when they put a water injection in me, when they put on the teeth and try to do things, kick me in between the legs and everything. This is how they treat the scientists in Russia. But you know what was? When I was laying in my blood, when I was in the corner like a dog, like a piece of shit that I am maybe the most. But I feel sometimes like this, restless. After all that I did. I had friends from outside, they bring me paper. And the paper were from Krugman and McCollum. And that kept me alive. They were writing about hepatitis B. Here I lay with 1, 2, and read hepatitis B. And this is my life's dream. Because you see, my wife almost died of hepatitis B. And I thought by myself, they pick you, they throw you in. Will you spy now? No. Will that? Boom. In, out, in. They take you out from the praxis where you're helping people. They take you just out to show your house from the police offices. The police. But I was reading, they are already, they found the protein molecule on the surface of the virus. How you get hepatitis B? That is this virus, but the virus does not infect you. That's what many people think. I was speaking with some UCLA people there that know how hepatitis B. Many people think. I was speaking with some UCLA people there that know how hepatitis B functions. They think the virus hepatitis B gives you hepatitis B. Is not so simple. A little particle on the surface of the virus is thrown like a knife on the liver. That infects. This is to have to do with leukocytes and leukeins. That means that are intermediate small substances. Everything is connected. That cause the infection. Koch postulates are shaky. That always say you have to have the virus in the same where the disease substances. Yeah, I see people, they have diphtheria, they have the virus in the throat and the disease in the brain. Question must be now, how does it happen? I know how it happened. It happened by transport from neurotoxins that go out there, the virus stay here, still here, boom, and you get brain rot or whatever. Then the specialist comes and says, I don't know what that is. Because the virus is here. Blah, 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 blah. Simply work some distance. This is how even Gallo says. Gallo says that the virus must not be in the tissue. Koch postulates are shaky. But I did not know nothing. I continued. When I stopped the trial, you should have seen. If I would have had 100 telephones would have ring everybody when they wanted to stop. And said, please, Dr. Schmunes, continue. Merck & Company, they paid the whole stuff. So if my trial was successful, hepatitis B, they were interested in, you know why? Many people don't know why. They're making billions of dollars. After my trial was finished, they make billions of dollars. Why? Because if the trial is officially successful, you can vaccinate everybody who's not fast enough on the tree, you know, so to speak. This is why and I had them again, we say in Germany and in Polish, lasst mich breitreten. Yeah, I did, I mean, they treated me like some, they worshipped me, so to speak. Everything was so, I was almost embarrassed sometimes when they came to today, I know why. So I continued with the trial. And parallel, please, keep that perfectly, but you will never forget it. And I tell you something, you will see and hear about it later, and then you will see, I heard it here first from Dr. Schmidt. Because what I did constantly parallel was virus of the disease cow, virus of the disease sheep, implementation culture, the result was this. This is a retrovirus. And sometimes this, and sometimes this. I constantly supply to the cancer virus laboratories with this creation. Mostly they are interested in that here. That is all I know. I was in seventh heaven, interrupted by little hells. Either I had nightmares when I dreamt of somebody kicking me in the butt or doing something else in my butt, because I was also sodomized in the liver. But this is, I'm not even ashamed, embarrassed anymore to talk about, because for me, homosexuals, that was a mental disorder, according to the CBC, and still today to the psychiatric institution, it is a mental disorder. So I was just thinking they were really nuts, because sometimes when they were popping in me, I said, well, did you imagine 6'6" soldier and a guard and the thing? I said, what do you want? I'm ugly. And he said, I love your intelligence. You see, I was not really upset about it, because I thought homosexuals are anyway, you know, they have a problem. They are mentally disturbed. So if somebody has a mental disorder, you don't blame him for something, you know what I mean? He is nuts. So what is the thing to blame him? So I just took it, you know. The only time where I must tell it, where I gave myself really in all that madness and disaster was a young man that I met. His name was Carl. I'm not gay. I have a wife and daughter. But sometimes the life works strange. I met a young man in the mountains in Poland, and I was later with a beautiful young man, blue eyes, tall, powerful build. He was a priest. And he said to me, Karl was his name. And we walked in the mountains, 10 days we were in this retreatment. And I told him about my dream about hepatitis B, and he listened, and I talked. Normally, when you talk in labor camp, they hit you with a Uzi in your mouth. You're not even allowed to look at somebody. But Carlo, he was listening to me, he looked at me. It is beautiful. He could have talked with other people. He chose me. We shared the room. It was so, please understand me, it was for the first time a human being that loved me. You know, other than my wife. I mean, it was I just told him about hepatitis B in my dream, and we had a glass of wine, and then he said to me, I am gay. Because I have told him that I was raped. And he said, I am gay. You hate me now? And he was crying. And I said, you stupid, I don't hate you. And somehow it happened. Yeah, I don't even remember really, but yes, something. Years later I watched TV. I lost him out of sight. In Rome, I was in New York. Later I TV, I lost him out of sight. In Rome, I was in New York. Cardinal Chamberlain opened the balcony, and out comes the new Pope. And it was Caro. I said, Maya, it's Caro. Caro Maggio. I had anal sex with the Pope. I am not ashamed. I feel good. I just say everything. What do you do when you are in trouble and when you are tortured and everything? You are thankful for every kind of love, right? You just cling to everything. That gives you little comfort. And I don't have anybody. Everything that happened to me, I tell you, I deserve. I'm convinced. I don't blame anybody. All I want to do is to prevent you from suffering, to give you that knowledge, to pass you that knowledge on. In September 1980, we broke the code. There was a room like this, a bit bigger, 150 people from all over the world. They clapped me on the shoulder, they worshipped me. I was on the news, New York City, everything. I was on TV. I have a memory, the video, everything here. And it was unbelievable. In that night, the phone rang while I was on the party. This is on Grafton record also. Everything is corroborated. Everything. I have not much time to talk about it. I'll tell you 1%. The other, here, in the book. It's your responsibility. You can read it. You can inform yourself. If you are responsible towards yourself and your children, you better read it. I tell you so. Gay man calls me from my trial. And says, Dr. Schmones, congratulations to having found the cure for hepatitis B, and by the way, my friend just died of carpal sarcoma. This night I left the party. Everybody knows about it. I said, Maya, I go, my wife, where are you going? The president is there. You cannot just leave. I said, I leave. I went to the laboratory. I called 3 gay men from the bathhouse that night that had participated in my trial. I mean, we met them, you must understand, we met them in the bathhouses, we met them everywhere, we grabbed them wherever we can come. I remember they had fantasy rooms like cowboy, and other room was for Indians, and all this combined the sexual thing. Now we had a little room where we took the blood, and I remember one gay man coming with a towel only and said, oh, it's just a medical fantasy room. I said, no, it's real. He said, oh, I'm sorry. He said, hey, I said, please stay here. Give me your blood. And he gave me his blood. Yes, I observed gay men in the act. So, know it in front of cameras. Not because I'm a kinky old man. This is what they want later to. I wanted to see why have gay men more hepatitis B. Did you know that 2 and 3 gay men have hepatitis B? More than normal people. Sorry, it wasn't normal. More than other people, heterosexual. And I wanted to know, why is this so? So sometimes they had sex here, and I was looking, and I had my pet. Jerome, please give me the pet. You have the pet. I say that to make these things clear, because today they attack my wife and my child. Oh, my wife and my child. They say this doctor was some nut. That should be. Thank you, sir. See, here they had sex, here I was. And I was looking carefully. And I saw it, I said, oh, sometimes I would say, stop. Could you please take it out again? Put it back. Yeah. And then I saw, I saw there is, spreading this. 6 centimeter before it is this, and after it, and sometimes I have measured for the penis to see how big is the penis. I said, you mind? I did, and I did this. Sometimes I caught myself, my God, what am I doing here? And I apologized to them, and they said, oh, never mind, Dr. Schmulz, it's okay. And you know what happened later? Sometimes when I was in the office, they called me sometimes, say, Schmulz, we have, again, a nice evening, 4 or 5 men, would you come and watch us? I said, well, thank you, you are very kind. Oh, no, they said, you're kind. And I was present. I learned many things, for instance, how you can put the whole fist in a man. I didn't know that. I said, but put the cream on and put it in, take 15 minutes. I was flabbergasted. I looked at the guy and said, "Are you still there? Are you okay?" He said, "Yes." "I'm okay." You know. And of course, I made my data and so forth. Yeah, even when they put the fist in, never I saw the anus rupturing. That there comes blood. That was very interesting for me. I wanted to know, but I speak with prostitutes that have only anal sex. We have data of that. They don't have hepatitis B. Until today, I don't know. Why have gay men hepatitis B? I'm absolutely, I don't know. It's just a fact. See, this is why I chose gay men, because I was sure they would get the vaccine, get back and try it out for hepatitis B. How would I be sure? They were promiscuous and they go back to Greenwich Village and have sex with other men that are gay, that have for sure, or almost for sure, hepatitis B. That's how you do it. That's perfect cool. I look in the blood of the 3 gay men that I put in the laboratory, and what I saw, ladies and gentlemen, first I was like a blank. I looked under the EM microscope. Who has looked under the EM of you? Electron microscope? You know something about? You know. So, here. What I saw was this. Micrography at the label. Here. The same virus that I have provided, I and other, from Yale, from Harvard, from other universities, other professors do the same. This is old shoe. This is old virological shoe. Since 1961 they do sheep and cow and human tissue culture, nothing new. The same virus that I had provided the cancer virus laboratories for, I found in the blood of my kids. First I thought, oh, maybe I have contaminated. You know, I'm in a very good company there with Dr. Gallo, whom we now are calling more and more the inventor of rumor viruses instead of tumor viruses. Later they turn out to be some contaminated, some cell-based stuff and so forth. And then he has a big press conference where he explains that he found the virus, and a small press conference where he says it was a contaminant. Sorry. That is how Gallo works to be together. I tested again 4 gay men. I tested again 5 gay men. This night was a night of the gay men in my laboratory. And in 2 of 3, sometimes in 1 of 3, I found that virus. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a cancer virus. This virus causes cancer. This is, amongst others, the cause of Kaposi sarcoma. It was clear to me that they had used my hepatitis B vaccine trial for their human cancer experiment. Because my gay men were first healthy, then they get the cancer virus in the vials of the vaccine, then they have sex with each other, and constantly we take their blood, as you might know, and then they die, and always we take their blood. Today everybody who has AIDS is nothing more than that is going to the doctor and says, please continue with the experiment. My next